What is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, collide swing traders? Hope you guys are doing fantastic. As Tony Hinchcliffe would say, unbelievable. Just crazy gaps in the morning. Obviously, we had an election. It took forever. I was trying to stay awake to see who they made president, who got voted, and all this. And I think we were just waiting on like Pennsylvania to figure out if they're going to declare it. They had like 92% of the vote in. He was leading by like 200. I was like, just is this over? And then I finally went to sleep, and I think 10 minutes after that they declared the president. So I was like, I got to get up. I got things to do in the morning. So I think first thing I would like to see Trump do in the White House is figure out how to either we all vote on one day, we don't count anything, and then the whole next day is like the counting day. This is where I could get some sleep. Or maybe we could just count quicker. I don't know. I don't, you would think, but pretty crazy elections. So we'll see. Right now, the market is gapping up. Everything we went through. I know Jeremy in Slack posted. He was trying to start a list as to what stocks would do well under Trump, what stocks would do well under Kamala. But the ones that are popping today are pretty much the Trump stocks. So good reaction to all of those. That's the Teslas, that's the DJTs of the world. That's the I thought GEO would pop. GEO's up like 25% today. But there's anything Trump related is on the move today. The clean energy stocks they're taking a dip today, but SPY gapping into all-time highs. So 588.28 as it sits right now. We'll see where this thing actually wants to open. I don't know how to day trade this one, to be honest. Again, it's not like we just came off of earnings. Obviously, the president will have influence on the economy and policies that get passed and all that fun stuff. But yeah, Joe saying crypto was going crazy last night. So a lot, a lot happened, but nothing has happened. We still technically have Joe Biden in the White House, so we have that for another 2 months ish. So no policies have changed. This is just kind of a gap up on okay, we have a different organization in there, different group of people making decisions, what would benefit the most. It was a bullish move, bigger bullish move yesterday than I thought we were going to have. So I thought we were going to get more just kind of chop, hang out in this range, wait one more day. None of that kind of happened. We just massively just ran up yesterday. So my question is though, and you had the poly markets, which turned out to be pretty correct on who they thought the president was going to be. Those odds were just changing like crazy last night during the election as things were coming out. But my question is, did people get in yesterday on the thought process that they liked or had a good chance that Trump was going to win, and they were kind of playing that ahead of time? If that's the case, and I'll tell you the one thing I'm going to be definitely watching for. But if that is the case, then I think you had a great move in the market. There's probably going to be some profit takers. We probably pull back. I'm looking for some kind of support, somewhere around 584.25. Uh, if we break that, we have 581.76. Otherwise, we are at all-time highs. Interesting enough, we have this kind of uptrend. We're gapping right into that as well. So we are into a little bit of resistance here as well. And nothing has actually changed yet fundamentally with anything. So everything is still the same as it was before, but you do have kind of more of a little hopium, I guess, gap up or uh, hey, we are going to spend more money. Like I said before, no matter if it was Kamala or Trump, I think both of them are going to spend a lot more money. So that typically is beneficial for the economy. Maybe not so much as the national debt, but we will see. Santilla says must pull back eventually. But here's what I am watching for. This is what I would be watching for today. All year, outstanding move. We got multiple highs throughout the entire course of the year. This is the one concern that I would have is if because I do think a pullback would be necessary, and maybe we get some of that today. Maybe today turns into a red candle. What I don't want to see is we open up wherever it is up here somewhere and we just sell all day. And it's a big selling day with lots and lots of volume. This is a big red candle because that would look a lot more like capitulation. And okay, we got the new president elected and we just kind of sell off and then we just like, okay, now let's figure out where the economy is going to go. How does this thing not move just off of the initial reaction that a new person is in the White House? But let's think about the policies, let's think about the tariffs, let's think about everything else. And how does this economy actually kind of function when the market is at all-time highs? So I'm looking at this 4 p.m. close today. I want to see if there's any capitulation, putting some worry into the market because everybody, I think, is, well, I want to say everyone's excited. If you're invested in the market, you're excited. If you're a Trump supporter, you're excited. If you're Kamala supporter, you're probably not so excited today. But I want to see if there's that capitulation that comes in, how big the selling is. I think that's going to be really important. If we get a full-on retest of this market, and I'd still put this as okay. It's retesting a little bit more than I would want it to at these levels, but we could see a retest into 575.56. And how many times have we seen the market just gap up all-time highs or individual companies gap up all-time highs, and in this just buy the dip mentality market, it just keeps going higher too. So I don't want to say I really have no idea. This is gonna be a wild gap. So I'm gonna probably and long term, if you've been building out the long term accounts, if you've been trading, got any swings in a bullish direction for the most part, they're probably looking fairly good today. So do you have to jump in and get too aggressive? I don't know. You have on the Qs, nice little gap on Qs. This one it seems a little bit more reasonable, a little bit. So good gap, still a retest gap from yesterday. We have yesterday's VPOC 491.82. The big level on this one we had the breakthrough is 498.07. We will be looking at some resistance on this one, 502.23. We'll see if we can break above that. After the so George is saying what happened after the 2016 or 2020 elections. It's going to be different. So the 2020 elections, I don't remember specifically what happened to the market on the 2020 election. I don't remember that one, but I do know what happened on the 2016 election. That's the market. As soon as they elected Donald Trump, the market just tanked and then it just rallied right back. So it almost got I think it got like halted down to the downside, and then it did open again and just kind of rallied right back. So it was bullish regardless. Um, but I think it was more of a surprise because every single poll had Hillary just dominating Trump, and Hillary was going to be the president, and it was a more of a shock to the system of the market, just because we were told over and over and over again that it was going to be Clinton. People were kind of basing their positions and their investments around okay, what does the Clinton White House look like in terms of policies? And then it was just a flip. It was a switch. So that was a little bit more surprise here on this one. I think we had the poly market saying that Trump was going to win, and then you had the polls pretty much favoring Trump, but they said it was very close. And the only thing is now it's not. It's more of a landslide. So I think that this reaction is going to be different. I think people were kind of at least gearing up for Trump has a good shot of getting to the White House. Maybe they didn't think maybe it was as likely, but I do think the 2016 is different. For the Joe Biden one, I don't really, yeah, I don't remember what happened to the market. We might have had a little gap up on that one too. Again, anytime you bring a new president in, they're going to change policies and spend more money and do everything crazy. So, um, somebody, if you could look back on that one, that'd be awesome. But, the 2020, I don't remember specifically. And again, that was a different time too. We were sitting in the middle of COVID at that point too. So, I don't know. Things were crazy at that point. Tesla. Let's see. Santillo says Tesla covered call at 170 smoking. I don't know if your Tesla cover call is partnering with Altria. I don't know what smoking means. So yeah, I got the 265. I got a couple of those 265 calls. This is another one on Tesla. And if you guys got tickers, let me know. But you mentioned Tesla, so we'll go through that. Before we get to Tesla, let's go to DJT. Let's go to DJT first. So this one, I with a buddy of mine, I was like, you know what? Why don't we gamble a little bit? We went very small, just again, just for fun, more or less. I already sold this one about I don't know, 30 minutes ago, something like that, 40 minutes ago. But I'm out of this one. This one after hours did go crazy. Obviously, a direct response. They had earnings, which nobody cares about, but because it's irrelevant. But they went crazy. I think we got up to like $51 at one point, maybe no higher, $59 almost. It looks like 50, $55 roughly. So yeah, the DJT was going absolutely crazy. The biggest concern, so if you do have any which Trump stocks would be good, I don't know how this one plays out because again, the fundamentals in a long-term scenario do catch up. And I don't know that this has the correct fundamentals. So as soon as I got some gains on this one, I think it went up like $11 a share by the time I got out. Um, or I didn't catch the peak, but by the time I got out this morning, I'm still up like $11 per share on DJT. So massive move, still looks good. It's still got some room in it potentially. But once all of the hysteria about Trump winning and you're just kind of betting essentially on Trump to win or lose an election, that's where DJT was kind of coming in, and you get those crazy parabolic moves. Fundamentally, I'd be a little more nervous to hold this one specifically, and I could be wrong. This thing could skyrocket, go crazy, but there's not a lot backing this company besides the man, the myth, the legend himself, DJT, kind of representing the company, I guess. And it's the stocks market way of kind of playing politics while also trading, I suppose. So this is what I'm going to stay away from today. Tesla, on the other hand, again, Elon was out there just straight campaigning, and we do have the swing. Maybe we hit this targets today too. But this one, it's going to get the same reaction. I think the market's jumping about the Trump election, the win. This is your initial reaction from anything kind of pro-Trump. Tesla would, I think, be different because it has the fundamentals behind it. And then you also do have for the next 4 years, if somebody needs some policies in their favor or something to some red tape removed or something to get some things passed quicker, I think Elon's in now a really good position to do that. So I think his little bet might have paid off, and they do have the fundamentals around it as well. So I think this one probably keeps going. Again, would I be shocked if we get a pullback at open? Not really. But I think there'll be a spot to get some kind of additional buying off of Tesla. So we'll see how that one kind of lands. Before the bell rings, let me just make sure I said in order correctly. Hold on one second. Michelle would like to talk about DraftKings earnings. Yeah, hold on. Let me change this one. Uh, cancel that. I wanted to sell one of my calls out at market. I put limit by mistake. And we'll wait till the market opens. DraftKings earnings. Yeah, so that they have earnings tomorrow. DKNG. Portnoy, he was a supporter of Trump, but he's not involved in DraftKings. He's in Penn gambling. So I don't know if DraftKings really sees the benefit from Trump. I don't think too much. But you do have a nice little gap up today with the rest of the market. This is also a retest gap. You got earnings coming tomorrow night. Let's see what they're expecting. So they're expecting to lose 41 cents per share and coming in with 1.11 billion. On the revenue side of things, you have surprise beat. So they reported 12 cents. So they had a really good quarter last quarter. And then they did report 1.1 billion. So they are expecting revenue to increase a little bit. Earnings per share looks beatable, looks doable, especially into football season. So I can see that one beating, but you are at resistance. This one might pull back today. Look for targets for today, 38.53, and then I think yeah, that's probably where I throw my targets. If it does go a little higher, maybe 38.82, but looks to be a fade, and it's a crush your fingers into the earnings if you are holding. Wendy says so puts maybe puts that open. No, not on DraftKings, but I think you're talking Tesla. I want to go puts on DJT either, to be honest. They're still jacked up in premium. Goldman Sachs is just absolutely running. I think all banks are kind of running today, but nice move here. So banks seem to be liking the updated election as well. But Goldman Sachs, again, I would actually be looking for this one for a fade, but it is, I think that's all-time highs, right? Yeah. All-time highs on Goldman Sachs. It is a lot of buying that came in yesterday. We are into all-time highs. Again, we still have, even though Trump is consistent, where we have Trump as president, he was president before, we kind of know what his presidency would look like. You got a whole team around him that is a little different. So we don't know exactly how everything's going to play out. But you're jumping into all-time highs. There was a lot of buying. I think I might have to look for a fade on that one. Uh, but I give everything a couple minutes to digest after this bell rings, I think. Nvidia with a good push. Again, their earnings are coming out soon. They got November 20th. So is that next week? Is that next week or 2 weeks? Today is the 6th, so 2 weeks. Good gap up on this one again. Retest gap slightly into resistance. I'd like to see where this one would probably open at, maybe. Right now it's looking good. So the small little pullback would be fine with me into 141.67. I think your targets to the higher side takes you to about 143.45. Um, I don't know how chips are gonna work under Trump. I don't know if Trump or Kamala would affect chips because there's still AI story involved too. I guess on trade, maybe. But yeah, it depends on where this one opens. If this one opens, I think below 141.76, that looks more like a fade. It is a retest gap. A lot of things based on yesterday's move. Unfortunately, going to put us counter trending a lot of things, I think. HMC, Honda, are they gapping down? I'm curious. Yep. They're gapping down. This might be a tariff move. Also, was this tariff or oh, did they also have earnings? What a cruddy day to have earnings. And they missed? No, that's not good. That's a rough one. Yeah, down 68%. It looks different than the rest of the market. You're still inside this candle. Maybe you get some bids. Otherwise, really, there's nothing stopping you down to 26.36. I would think eventually we get there. This one had a green candle yesterday. The only thing that is going to save you is this candle from August 5th. And that would be the low of that candle 27.68. So maybe you have some bulls saying, hey, we did bounce there one time, but that looks not that looks rough, even to a bullish side of things, and maybe give it a couple minutes, see if it wants to run out of the gate. If it does, I'd be looking for like a 29.06 for a short. That's rough. China stocks are down, I think, a little bit though. So you have Baba gapping down. That's not a good location, not a great open. See if maybe you could get a green candle on this one and probably look into the short side. I think at this point, based on this open, you probably end up coming into this $90.09 mark. And then if not a little bit lower, $88.46. But I think most China stocks probably pull back initially on the Trump news. Yep, Baidu. Baidu's at least at a little support. Depends on where this thing wants to open, but that looks a little rough too. That one probably down to at least $88.41 if it wants to go. SCHW. Yeah, SMCI did. I saw that. Yeah, it was like $22. I'm like, I don't know if they had additional news that came out, but I, I will have to look into that one. Maybe we'll pull that one up. Um, SCHW. You're right into a spot. The Bears did come in the last time. I would see if we could break out of the high of this candle, which is 74.18 if you want to try to stay long. Otherwise, Bears came in before right here. You do have a retest gap. You are gapping into a longer term resistance as well. I think this is probably a fade. So now you have Goldman Sachs, I think fades. I think Schwab fades. I wouldn't even be shocked if some of the other like Tesla's fade, things like that as well. But we will see. I think that one's a pullback. NSC. NSC. So retest gap, but pretty fantastic for bulls. Uh, yeah, maybe 264.30. I think we could probably take that out. You got all the volume now to your backside. Again, this is still a retest gap. I think if this pulls back, I'd be looking for some kind of entry around 260.25, providing this is not a capitulation day in the market. That's the only thing. We could survive that, and then we still have Jerome Powell coming in tomorrow. I think people forgot about Jerome Powell. But now you got him coming in. That's going to be an interesting speech that he's going to give. See how he wants to play it. But yeah, we still got a lot this week. That's a good looking gap though. Let's get this one higher on the list. I'd see if we get a small high wave red high wave candle, something to that extent. Maybe we could take the break. That's a fantastic gap. It's not at all time highs. Does have plenty of room. I don't know how much congestion is in there that could hold us back from targets, but that looks decent. ANET. ANET. Arista Networks. This one I would say strong fade on this one. So good breakout candle yesterday. You've had a few days now, even though you had a couple red candles mixed in. Few days of just continuing higher prices. People were getting bullish on this one, kind of opening right into a resistance. I think a net is going to be a little bit more likely to fade from here. Again, how much of a fade of any? I don't know the Trump effect on the market. How either just excited people are that, or at least basing the positions around the fact that you have a new president or Trump is the new president, and you're kind of flipping House and Senate, or really just Senate, or if this is just all like, yeah, we're excited, and then we want to take out gains though. This is gonna be an interesting day. I don't know. Disney's gonna be interesting. They've never really been a pro Trump type company, but they're still getting the gains. Mickey Mouse is jumping up a little bit. Same thing on this one. Do have resistance right where we're at. It is a nice gap up. I would think this one probably wouldn't have been one of my Trump picks, but moving with the rest of the market, and it's also a retest gap. You have earnings on this one coming out November 14th. So estimated to do 1.105. Last time they did report higher than that. So beatable on earnings per shares. Estimate 22.477 billion. They do need to come in a little bit more on the revenue side, and the parks were closed during the hurricanes, so we'll see if they could achieve that goal. I think Disney Plus increased in price a little bit. Lulu pulled back a little bit. Lululemon. Yeah, a little bit. Still hanging out. You have that 200 EMA on the daily. I think we're waiting for some of those. Well, we're waiting for the moving average to catch up, but more importantly, we're waiting for those earnings to come out. So I can see a little chop, maybe some excitement that could break us out ahead of time into earnings, but I think it's the earnings. Earnings are bust on them. All right, let's see. Yeah, First Solar getting clobbered. Check any of those clean energy plays. But this is going from 215.89 all the way down to 188.75. So pretty big pullback. We don't have much volume on this one to save us. I think if you could get the initial kind of knee-jerk reaction where you get some buying coming in, watch for resistance around 191.75. But I think that's short. You have a few days of bulls taking this out. Let's see. Oh boy, I gotta be concerned now about ALB. Hold on a second. ALB, that's down. I still want to sell some puts, but we also got earnings on today after the bell. Okay, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait to sell any puts on them. If they get clobbered on earnings, I'm gonna take advantage of that new selling and then sell some puts. Otherwise, if it goes up, I'm in the position, so I'm not. We'll wait to see how those earnings come out. But ALB today after the bell, huh? Yeah, we got the Fed on Thursday. Coinbase, let's take a look at that one. Coinbase. Pretty good gap up. It is a retest gap. Again, that's a pretty good looking gap, though. I think this one goes higher. See if there's a small pullback. See if we can hold this 220.38. We've given up all of those. I mean, remember those earnings that happened like 3 days ago, and everyone's like, Coinbase. We're now way above that candle, way above that pivot. I think you're probably going higher from here. But next stop, I think 225.92. If you get past that at least a little bit, you're going to 231.47. So we'll see what happens on that one. Let's go to Bitcoin. But yeah, coin I like bullish still. Let's get that one higher. So a lot of fades. Coinbase, I can see kind of running a little bit. Interesting. BTC USD. The Bitcoin, absolutely phenomenal breakout. I think we ended up hitting, we got above 75,000 last night. Good breakout candle. Would make sense if you get again, a little pullback, look for some kind of support around 72,436. But this candle it's a fresh candle. It's a fresh candle. It's going to be open for a while, so we'll see if that one wants to close nice and strong, or we get a pullback first and then kind of go. Either way, again, I think according to the Coinbase polling, people were voting that Trump would be more bullish for crypto than Kamala was. That is the morning bell, though. So everybody in YouTube land, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. It's gonna be we still have a wild week ahead of us. Still have a wild week. I'll get to catch all you guys tomorrow, and we'll go from there. We'll see how today closes. You guys are.